Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Ghosts with Sunray. I am Sunray, your host. This is episode 4, so thank you for tuning in, and I hope you got a chance to check out all the other episodes as well. If you haven't, make sure to like and subscribe my YouTube channel so that you get all the updates and have an opportunity to check out all of my videos. So this week I have my friend Norman. He actually sent in his videos to me and let me know his ghost story, so I'm going to share that right now. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to leave me what you think about it in the comments section.
Good afternoon. I'm gonna get on here from Miss Sunray, tell my ghost story. I got a lot of them, but this is a personal one. When I was a little kid, I had a problem with like the supernatural when I was a kid. I seen things, I witnessed things, and sometimes people tell me that it was imagination and TV I watched, but I didn't watch a lot of TV when I was a kid. So excuse me. So they said I remember when I was a kid, and we lived out in this house, out in the country, way out in the country, and it's not there now. It done burned down and stuff. But we had this chimney, and this chimney had bats in it when we was a kid. So growing up, it was kind of cool. We'd see the bats coming in and out of the chimney and stuff. I'd go fishing and stuff or whatever. But long story short, I remember I come back in from outside, and we had a hog outside. I was feeding her, name was Sally. I fed the hog, and I come inside, and I remember there was this armadillo sitting on the front porch, and I shoot it away. I picked it up at first, and then my mom comes in, Norman, you need to put that down. And it's making a weird noise. I let it go. It come through the screen door, so it went up the screen where it come through the screen door. And I remember it like taking off. And I looked at my mom, and my mom, I remember just telling me I was a silly boy, but man, I seen something run behind her. It was just her and I there in the house that night. My sister, I believe, was at my auntie's house, and my dad was in town drinking at my aunt's house and uncle's house. And I remember my mom was fixing something, but something right behind her, and it ran toward her, our room. Now, when I was a kid, I had a problem with not quite making it to the restroom at nighttime because I was afraid of what was in the dark. I wasn't afraid of the dark, I was just afraid of what was in it. And the thing is that I seen what I saw, and when it ran past my mom, I seen the silhouette of its face, and it went in a nice face. And so that night, I remember there was a bunch of Easter eggs inside of the closet, and me and my sister shared a room. Mom shared a room with Dad, of course. And I remember coming out of the little room in the back, go toward the bathroom, and I'm looking in the living room, and something was kind of off. And with it being off, I just kind of seen it kind of behind the couch, and where the couch was like right there on the other side of the wall, and it was kind of poking its and facing toward me, because our room was in the back, Mom was in the living room, and the couch was facing that direction, the chimney and stuff. But anyways, beside the point. I said, Chantilly, and I thought maybe it would move, and I thought Chantilly would pop. Oh, it's me. And I looked in the room, and Chantilly was asleep, and it didn't come out, but it kind of proceeded to come out, and I just backpedaled, and there was a window, so I opened up the window, went to the window, and used the restroom out the window, crawled up under the covers. Well, in the process of crawling up under the covers, and I was covering my head up, looking at it, I seen it, and it's like, man, it was always at a distance. It knew where it needed to be. Every time I was to look in my peripheral view, it would be facing me, or it would be looking at me in a way of like, hey, are you, I'm aware of you, I know you're aware of me. And it was creepy. And then this is no joke, it really affected me. It's the reason why growing up, I had no explanations for these things, and telling the psychiatrist, oh, you're crazy, but telling a psychiatrist or a preacher that you're hearing God or seeing things like this, or the paranormal, which comes from, if you just look at it, the biblical terminology, or any other type of religion, ethical background, there's spiritual, there is supernatural. So with that said, where we lived out in the country, it was a place where the Civil War took place, and there was a lot of things that happened out there, and this kid looked like he was a part of something from the Civil War, and it scared me. It didn't talk to me. It didn't really move nothing. It was there, and it was aware, and it would stare, and I would stare back, and I would have the EBGBs, but it was always in the house. It was never out of the house or anything. But I remember that what really got me was, I remember I went outside, of course, early in the morning, and I fed the hog. I come back inside. I wanted to go fishing that day. We didn't have school. I wanted to go fishing, and I decided to sit there and inside of the house in my room and wait for my dad to tell me, hey, go grab the fishing poles, blah, blah, blah. So I'm playing with these blocks, and these blocks has got ABCs on them, and 1, 2, 3s. I remember some of them had animals. They were color kind of, anyways, I was stacking them. I'm in the process of stacking them, sitting them down. Process of stacking them, and I hear my dad, Norm, come on, boy. Come on, baby, let's go fishing. I get up, and I went to go grab the blocks and move. And when I did, I looked at the corner of my eye. When I'm looking at the corner of my eye, I bent down to go. I said, leave the blocks, because what was set up on the wall was not me. I backed up, and there was a little kid on the wall where I was sitting hunched over, like my shadow had stayed, and it commenced to moving these blocks, and it's moving. I'm getting goosebumps thinking, talking and thinking about it now. But it's moving the blocks, and my dad says, Norm. And I was captivated by it. And it stopped when it seemed that I didn't walk off, or it fell, or whatever it was. And it stopped. You could see the silhouette, the shadow, and his head turned. And when his head turned, like, it made me jump because the blocks on the wall fell, but the blocks on the ground didn't fall. Then all of a sudden it dissipated. It was scary. I took off running. I told Dad about it. And Dad goes, Dad told me we weren't going to be there very much longer, and that he kind of felt some things, and he seen things. He didn't want to say anything about it, but yeah, that was the first encounter that I could say that was it was really scary, and it wasn't, it was intimidating me, and it knew what I felt, because it would only do it when I felt it when I felt a certain way, or when I was stressed out a certain way. That's the only time it would make its appearance, and I would tell it, you're scaring me. And it, like, the smirk on its face, and it was intimidating. It was creepy. But we got out of that place, and Mom kept getting sick there after that. Mom started getting sick a lot, kept getting pneumonia, and so we had to get out of there. But yeah, that's my story, and I figured I'd share that one. I got many more if you'd like to hear some more. Some of them were better than that one, but that's my first time I ever witnessed something and I had no explanation for it. All right, love you, peace.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. Definitely let me know what you think about it. The one story, Norman, that you talk about, getting up to move and you still seeing like your shadow playing with the blocks and stuff. A part of me really wonders if you maybe like astral traveled out of your body a little bit, and your body remained playing with the blocks, but your spirit had left, so you were seeing yourself in a shadow-like form instead of seeing your body. That is what I instantly thought. Not too sure, but yeah, that's what I thought about it. Anybody else think maybe it was astral traveling, or I don't know, it's very odd. I've really never heard of any stories of where your shadow stays in place. Alright, so I'm going to read you guys a story from one of my Reddit viewers. This is what she submitted to me. This is from JD Lane. She says, I am Native American and I live on a reservation. We believe in a lot of paranormal beings. We have highly respected and feared beings who are called Heyokas. Forgive me if I did not say that right. They do everything backwards. Walk, talk, dance, etc. We don't know who they are because they wear masks backwards. But anyways, sometimes they turn bad. If they die and are not good enough to move on, they become scary creatures who walk around on all fours, upside down, and are very scary looking and super fast. Very inhumane. If I ever saw something like that crawling towards me, I would be terrified. No, thank you. She says, anyways, we live near the Badlands, and there are religious sites near the Badlands meet with the plains. My brother-in-law lived very close and always told us stories about seeing them jump from the ground to the roof at night. One night we babysat for him, and around midnight we started to fall asleep, but then we heard scratching noises and someone on the roof. Heck to the no. We sat on the couch and decided to watch TV and fell back asleep. I laid on my husband's lap, and I noticed he was looking down the hallway, so I looked too. And I seen it run across the hallway, up the wall, push through the attic door, and it was the scariest thing I ever seen. She said the attic door had like a push up instead of like where you pull the string, so it pushed up. Needless to say, she grabbed her kids and left. If it wasn't my house, and it possibly could have been a Heyoka, God, I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, I'd probably leave too. I wouldn't want to mess with that. So that was her first story. She gave me a second story, and this is what it says. One night, my husband fell asleep on the couch while my daughter and I slept in our bedroom. The rooms are right next to each other. He was awoken around 3 a.m. by someone tapping and scratching on the walls. Can I just say, if you don't already know, everything happens at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. I always wake up around 3 a.m. Ironically enough, it's always with a migraine. And a lot of stories definitely come from the 3 o'clock hour. Okay. So he woke up around 3 a.m. to tapping and scratching on the wall. He woke me up asking if I tapped or scratched on the wall, and I said no. I didn't go back to sleep. He continued to hear the same noise every time he'd almost fall asleep until the sun started to come up. He then went outside to see if there was footprints in the snow, which there wasn't. When he started to walk back inside the house, he noticed feet sticking up out of the snow and went to see. He found our neighbor dead. He had been drunk and passed out, frozen to death, but he was closest to the living room. It was him tapping on the wall. He didn't knock till he was already dead because there was absolutely no footprints in the snow anywhere near our house. I believe he wanted him to find his body. And for the record, we as a people do not look out our windows or open our doors from midnight to morning because that will allow ghosts and other paranormal beings to enter our home. We also didn't believe in whistling at night because it calls to them, which I 100% believe in because my cousin did this once and someone actually whistled back when no one was around for 10 miles but us two. I say this in case anyone tries to say he couldn't help him. It was later ruled that he died around 11 p.m., not 3 a.m. So obviously, he was already dead when the tapping noise started. And yes, we made sure to tell the cops everything because they were native and completely understood, as it really is the way we live and how we believe. So, I think Native American beliefs and culture and everything, I believe it all. A lot of the tales and the things that they've seen and the creatures that they've seen and talk about, I most definitely believe in it. There's that one word nobody's supposed to say out loud, so I'm just gonna say SW. That word gets really said a lot ever since that documentary especially came out about the SW ranch. But when I do learn about Native American things, I do kind of, fall in line almost, show my respect, be kind, believe it, and I follow their rules because I definitely don't want to know what it's like to break their rules. It is really sad about your neighbor, dying, and their spirit coming to you and stuff. That is, I don't know if it's creepy or if it's sad. Let me know what you guys think about that story. That was again from JD Lane on my Reddit. I really, really appreciate you sharing your stories with me. If you have any more, definitely let me know. Okay, so with this one, I'm going to tell one of my kind of sort of stories. It's not really my story, but somebody told me this. So, if you live here in Colorado, or you've been to Colorado, you may have heard of Heritage Square. Heritage Square is this amusement park that's up in Golden, Colorado. Used to be. It actually shut down and got sold a couple years ago and is no longer there. Very unfortunate, sad day. But if you've been here, you have heard of this place. So now there's no rides up there. It's just a parking lot that they have blocked off, and there's security up there. Well, I met this lady once, and oh man. So I asked her, I love to ask people if they have ghost stories. And I asked her if she had any ghost stories from up there, and she actually did. And she told me that one night she heard some noises, because there's really old buildings up there, and she heard some noises up there, so she went to go check it out and investigate. She was, kind of doing her rounds and walking around the property, and she heard stuff, and she's like looking up and stuff, and she heard voices, and they said, "Oh my God, do you think she can hear us?" And then she heard another one. It's like, "Oh my God, I think she can." And she's like, "I can hear you, and you need to leave. You need to get out. You're not allowed to be here." And the voices stopped, and everything got quiet. And she searched every building. She was the only one there, so she would have seen or heard somebody leave. And nobody ever left. She never found anybody in those buildings. Everything was closed off and locked off, and there's no way possible anybody could have been there. So she really thinks that she heard some ghosts, and they were shocked when she could hear them. Which is very interesting. And then she said this other time she was doing her rounds, and she was just walking around, and she saw a gentleman in a blue hoodie with his hood up walking towards her. And she was about to say, "Sir, you can't be in here," when she looked down and realized he had no legs or feet. He was just body, head, walking towards her. So that spooked her, and she, kind of shook it off, and, still had to do her job and check the property and the premises, so she continued doing her thing. She also told me that another time she was walking, she saw a man in a long black trench coat and a black top hat. She said she only seen him once. It was very quick. And yeah, after she told me that, I'd realized, she was talking about the Hat Man. She had seen the Hat Man up there in Golden, Colorado. Which really was crazy to me, because if you watched my grandma's house episode, you know that I have seen the Hat Man as well. And I've always been kind of drawn to this place, especially after they shut down. I want to go up there, and I want to investigate the heck out of it, especially after hearing her stories. They were really fascinating to me. And when she said that she had seen the Hat Man, she doesn't know who the Hat Man is. But I do. And, I put the pieces together, and I wonder if that's why I'm drawn to that place, especially now that it's empty, is because the Hat Man is there, and he knows me, and he knows that I know him. So that was very interesting to me. There was a lot of stuff that happened up in Golden. The little mountain that we lived off of, we used to be full-time RVers and used to just move around the mountains. There was like really old coal mines down there, and just sometimes really spooky, eerie feelings. And I had done a lot of research, and there is a ghost that is seen every now and then on the trails, because there's hiking trails up there. He's seen every now and then just drinking a beer, whatever. But he's said to have died in the coal mines, really long time ago. So he's been there for quite some time. In one parking lot that we parked in, oh God, I think that one was called T-Rex. All of them are named after dinosaurs, which is really awesome. But we were in this parking lot called T-Rex, and I'm looking out the window, looking at the scenery, checking everything out, and I see people walk past us, and I was like, where did they come from? That's really kind of odd, because nobody should be up here. We're the only ones up here, and unless they crawled out of the side of the mountain, there's literally nowhere they could have come from. So I thought that was really odd. I definitely think they were spirits walking past me, and I could see them. So those are my ghost stories from when I lived in Golden. I have a really big one. And if you want to know that one, if you don't already, go check out my episode 1, because that's where I talked about it. And I'm going to touch base on that way more in the future. A little bit about spirit guides and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's my story for this week. If you liked this episode, please subscribe to my channel, like this episode, and comment and tell me what you guys think about these stories. I definitely love to hear what you think. Maybe you've seen something similar, maybe you can relate. And if you have any stories, you can email them to me. You can either email them typed out, an audio recording, so just hit that record button on your phone, or you can send me a video recording. All of them I love. I want to get some more videos of you guys sharing your stories, and some more audio of you guys sharing your stories on here. I think that would be really, really fun to hear different voices. So you can email those to me at letstalkghosts22@gmail.com. Yes, check that out. Email me, like and subscribe, share my video with other fellow ghost addicts like myself. And yeah, I really hope you guys have a wonderful night. Keep it creepy and spooky. Till next time.